Hey guys, been away from the market for a bit, dealing with some personal things, but I'm gonna go over a few um, things. So basically, we'll take a look at Bitcoin, ETH, and how the market's going to react over the next 2 to 3 months, and then I'll go over the few long-term coins that I've been accumulating and want to accumulate more, and I'll give you my thoughts on the market and what I think will happen over the next few months. Okay, so before we start and take a look at Bitcoin, let's take a look at the dollar index. So to me, this is still bullish as long as it's putting in higher highs and higher lows. Higher high, lows, highs, lows. It actually flipped this resistance here at 105 into support, and it's on its way to the resistance point around 105.86. Now it's flagging, okay, even though it has a deviation here and here, it's flagging and it looks like it wants a move up to 108. Now if that happens, we're kind of screwed, because if the dollar is bullish, then risk on assets are bearish, not only crypto but equity markets as well. But it's also been accumulating since November 22 or November of 2022. Okay, it's in a giant accumulation range, and when it comes to range, you just play range highs and lows. Okay, so multiple touches of range lows bounce from there, and we actually haven't touched the range highs since September 23. I think we possibly may get it. So trading this is going to be choppy over the next 2 to 3 months. Not just risk on assets, but um, everything in general is going to be choppy. If we take a look at the USDT dominance, and again, if this is bullish, this only resorts to the crypto side, but if this is bullish, then crypto is bearish. So I'm going to go to a higher time frame, such as the weekly. Okay, we had a breakout. I'm going to remove these really quickly. So we had a breakout and we rejected at the 520 resistance. We didn't flip it into support, but if I go to a lower time frame, we flipped this 485% into support. Okay, we were rejecting all the way here. These wicks don't count. It's all about where the candle body closes. So see rejections, breakout, retest, hold, and this looks bullish to me. Okay, again, we are making higher highs, higher lows. Okay, and if I were to, excuse me, if I were to just draw lines here, okay, we can say maybe this looks bearish, maybe it's putting in a little rising wedge pattern, but this looks more like a 3 drive pattern. Let me just show that on the charts really quickly so you guys see what I'm talking about and not pulling shit out of my ass. 1 sec. 3 drive pattern. Okay. So this bearish 3 drive pattern looks something like this. Okay. So it's a parallel channel. And it comes down, so there's your 1, there's your A, there's your 2, there's your B. And to me, this possibly can look into a C drive here, into that 3, and then sell. But I'm not sure it gets that high unless the dollar continues to be bullish. But I honestly want to see something like this. Okay, take out these highs, close below, lose the trend line, reject, and then make its way down to retesting the support line here. Now, if that happens, risk on assets for crypto, or sorry, crypto will be bullish. Okay, we will have a small rally. Not everything is going to pump, but we should see a rally. Okay, but if we are able to flip this resistance here, this 5.2 into support, then we're going for the golden pocket. which is also the rejection point of this bearish 3-drive pattern, and hopefully it rejects from there and makes its way down. Okay, but if we flip this 520, then it's going to be a rough few months to trade. And honestly, during these few months and into summer, I'm not going to be trading as much. Like, understanding your weaknesses in a choppy market is crucial, and in general, choppiness is a weakness of mine. Sometimes it's best to sit on your hands and not do anything than trying to chop and just preserve your capital. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for a USD dominance. This is not going to be bearish until this trend line is lost. So I'm hopefully looking for a rejection at the 520 percent, or if this is flipped, then I'm looking for a rejection around the golden pocket, and hopefully it sends it down from there. But as long as this is bullish, it's going to be pretty hard to trade, and risk or crypto is on its way down. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So first things first, my long got stopped out at break even after TP1 was hit. Okay, let's take a look at this chart first. So Bitcoin is making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so it's in a downtrend, right? Here's your lower low, here's your lower high, here's your lower low, here's your lower high. Theoretically, or hypothetically, we should be going down to make another lower low, right? If this was your last lower low, we should make another lower low here. Now, if we go down to make another lower low, this should fall in line with this daily demand zone here. Okay. This level is very crucial, as I mentioned before. This was this demand zone. This was a resistance point. Okay, and I mentioned it in not only Discord but other YouTube videos as well. Once we had a move up from it, it was just new highs from that point on. Now we never came back to retest that level. All right, so this is a very crucial point to hold. We can come as low as 38K and still be bullish. Okay, so if I were to draw this trend line, we can come back down to like here into this weekly demand zone and still be bullish. Okay, we have not lost the trend. I personally don't want that. It's still a viable option, but I'm looking for this daily demand zone to hold. Okay, I am not bullish until, let me just draw this. Okay, so we have a little falling wedge action here as well, but I am, if we're just drawing ranges here, okay, this is your range low. All right, this is your range high. All right, whoops. Okay, here is your mid-range. Okay, now here's your mid-range. I had mentioned that there should be no longs taken until this mid-range was flipped to support, right? See how we broke out, we flipped it to support. See, like, we broke out here, did not flip it to support. We did not come and retest and hold, but we broke out, we flipped it to support, ran higher, right? Broke out, flipped it to support, ran higher. Okay, broke down, turned to resistance, went a little bit lower, broke out, flipped it to support there, and then ran higher. We broke down, turned into resistance, came back to range lows, went to retest mid-range, right? Rejected again from resistance, came back, had a deviation here, and then now we're resting at mid-range, right? Now the multiple times that we've touched, it makes this mid-range or this range low very, very weak. And honestly, either we bounce here in the next week, or we go, down to this demand zone here. Now, we can go to this level here at 59K, which we flipped to support. We had a deviation. Right here was the lows. We broke down, broke above, flipped it to support and ran higher. So we can retest that level, and you can see a lot of people trying to place this long, place the stops below, and they're targeting, okay, mid-range and then range highs. You will see a lot of people trying to take this play, okay, and it's pretty valid. I'm not going to take it. I'm waiting for me to be bullish. I need this mid-range to be flipped to support so we can target range highs. Until that happens, I'm not really interested in Bitcoin. I'm not interested in the market whatsoever. I can be, sidelined for 2 to 3 months and I'll be okay. But this is where, when the market's choppy, this is where a lot of people lose money, okay? They think they have to be in trades every single day, but in reality, sitting sidelined, saving capital, pulling the trigger once easy mode is back is going to be the play. So you can see maybe we have a move here reactively and then back to maybe 63K, which is also resistance, right? But I'm not looking to get into anything here. I'm looking for, personally, I'll front run this demand zone as well. So I'm looking for something like this. Okay, I'm looking for a move down to this demand zone around 53.2, and I'll be DCAing down to 50K, stops below 48.6, and I'd be looking to go up from there. Now, this can take all of summer, okay? If we take a look at last bull market, not a great example of a chart. Let's go to a Binance chart. So let's take a look at last bull market, okay? Started in March of 2020, okay? So let's take a look at summertime. Here is your summer. Notice how we've been in a very tight range. Okay, just a $500 range all summer, right? Then we had a little break above, but if we take a look at it on a monthly, right, here it is. Like nothing really happened until like July, all right? So May and June leading into July could be very dry. Summertime usually is dry and volatility. We can take a look at here as well. Right, again, May, right, end of June leading into July, we had more movement up, and then it died out again, right? It was just a small little range of like $1,000 for weeks, right? This one over here as well. This one was more reactive because, we came back down to support, like high time frame support. But if you notice, again, for May, it was like this was a very volatile moment, so we had a nice range, but this range, if we were to measure this, let's just say that was the average, and we measure this range here, and we measure this range here, right? Notice they're about the same. Okay, a $500 or $600 range, 7K, 8K range, and a 4K range all yield about 20%. All right, so we can have that for the summertime. Again, a lot of people will be losing money during that time, but the focus will be at high time frame levels of support. Now, if we take a look at BVOL as well, Bitcoin volatility, we came back to my zone. Okay, we touched it. The daily candle started at 5. We touched it. So I'm expecting a big move in volatility in 48 to 72 hours. Usually it happens on Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's going to be a big week, and I think it's going to set the tone for the rest of May and June, and I think it's going to be chop again. But so expect a big move coming soon. I don't know which direction it's going to happen. It's just big move in volatility. We can go up, we can go down, 2K, 4K, doesn't matter. It's just going to be happening pretty soon. So if you are in leverage, I would lower your position sizing or lower your leverage and just trade cautiously. And yeah, so that's what I'm looking for with Bitcoin and the markets over the next 2 to 3 months. Now, I know that there are going to be some KYC restrictions as well. So MEXC is going to be KYCing June 30th. BingX will be KYCing in 3 days, the 15th. And I've been telling my class and my students, which exchanges, and I know I'm partnered with Blofin. I'm partnered with actually all the exchanges, but the best exchange, best non-KYC exchange is going to be Blofin. All right, I will link it into the description below. But Blofin has more volume, 24-hour volume, than both BingX and MEXC. MEXC is just fucking garbage, okay? I absolutely hate the exchange. I have no, I'm not going to be promoting them anymore. BingX is where I trade spot. I do have the Palo ID, so I was able to KYC. But if you're looking for a great exchange, like Phoenix, volume is not even a billion. Blofin is really good. Now I know the fees are high, right? Like BingX is 0.2. All of these are 0.2 maker. MEXC has 0 because they're a shit exchange and they're a bunch of scam artists. But like most exchanges have 0.6, right? Like KuCoin is 0.6, Bybit is 0.55. So Blofin is not that far off from fees. It's just if you are using MEXC and you want to go somewhere else, you're going to be paying a lot of fees, and there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. But Blofin is where I'm trading along with Bybit because of my Palo ID. So if you are looking for a non-KYC exchange, Blofin is what I would recommend, right? Let's get back into the markets. So let's take a look at ETH. All right, ETH. If we actually flip this chart, all right. If we were to, I'm just talking technicals here, right? If we draw a little cup and handle, I know this is more of a V shape. All right, technical targets for this cup and handle is like 1700. All right, this, I'm going to flip this back around. This basically falls perfectly in line with the support. All right, I don't think we go that low, but notice how we've been hovering on the support line for a bit. Okay, the more we hover on support, the weaker that support's going to be. Just like if we are consolidating under resistance, the stronger the chance of a breakout. But this doesn't look good. All right, now I know that we have a downtrend and we are making lower highs and lower lows, and one can argue that this is making a falling wedge structure. Okay, I personally think we go into this area here over the next course of 2 to 3 months. I would love to be wrong, but I'm not going to be a bull on the low time frame. If I see that low time frame is bearish, macro time frame is bullish. Okay, now look at this. See, all of this points bearishness. I know we have the ETH narrative coming up around during summer as well, but okay, that's your demand zone. All right, now we are hovering not only on horizontal support, like I said, it's weaker, but also we are about to possibly lose trend. Okay, losing trend, breakdown, and even retest of this horizontal support and losing it, like this is the next area to buy. Now, we can come down here and put in a double bottom, all right, and even a higher low. Even if we come over here, we can still put in a higher low and still be bullish. But based on this trend line, we're about to lose it. So just be cautious. This will affect alts as well. But you know, like as long as we are hovering here, let's go back onto the daily. I'm not looking to buy ETH. I'm looking to buy this demand zone. I'm not bullish on ETH until we break out. So here we have resistance. Oops. Okay. Here's resistance. So I'm not bullish until we do something like this. Okay. Well, we most likely will go reject, but until we are able to break market structure and make some weird fucking pattern like this, joking. So basically something like this, right? Here is the last lower high. Okay. Break above, flip it, make a higher high and higher low there. We break structure and then we go higher. But until that happens, I'm just playing defensive. I'm sitting on the sideline and waiting for things to happen. If you're looking to buy ETH, this demand zone is going to be your area to buy, and that is from 25, basically 50, down to 2162. I'm not saying it's going to happen. We can easily rebound from here, but this is where you will buy if Bitcoin does go down to that 53, 52K level. Okay. Ondo, another coin that's boding very strong so far, but lost the trend line. And for those that come into my stream at Unity, I'm mentioning that this has the same structure as TIA. Okay, let's go to the daily. Right. So if I were to go back here, right, higher highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, consolidation. Lows, highs, lows, and then consolidation. This is where we are currently on Ondo. All right. Hopefully this continues to go high and higher and make another higher high and higher low. But we have currently lost trend. Okay. Now I'm not saying we're going to go down. This is technically our last higher low, so we can even still come down here and still be bullish. Okay, we can even still come down to 50 cents and be bullish. These are my buy levels for Ondo. This blue box basically I mentioned before, but 75 cents down to 68, and then 50, and then 32 if we get it. I don't think we get this, but plan for everything. Place your bids, and just in case they hit, those are what I'm looking for Ondo. This will not go higher until this relentless seller around 85 to 87 cents stops selling. Okay, if this is able to break above, and it's getting weaker and weaker every single time, just like the support is getting weaker and weaker. But if this is able to break above, then yes, we will go higher for $1 to $1.30 being my target for Ondo. Okay, this is one of my biggest bags. It's probably currently my second biggest bag. Actually, probably my first biggest bag. The next one is Vanry. AI play, very strong as well. Okay, now this looks more like a bear flag. Well, it is a bear flag, and actually has lost the trend line as well. It's hovering on support. Now I'm looking to bid at these blue levels here around 13 cents or 12.9. 11.1 and 8.2. Okay, we have demand zones there, but this showed strength. It rejected from the demand zone and the top of this trend line as well last week, but Right now, Bitcoin is dictating the market. Okay, Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is bullish, and as long as this remains bullish, any fart on Bitcoin, then alts will suffer. Okay, a small move down on Bitcoin, alts will suffer, and this is testing resistance. It's about a head little deviation there. Second test. This looks bullish on a higher time frame. Again, higher highs, higher lows. This one's 58%. Okay. In my opinion, I think we get it. I think we get about 20-30% discounts on the market on altcoins and in general, everything. So, placing those limit orders much lower, your doomsday bids, you may be in for a surprise one day if we have capitulation. Right? So, as long as this is bullish, you should not be focusing on altcoins. To be honest, most of you will be better off if you just stay sidelined for a little bit. Build your capital, work in real life, keep the money aside. If we do get a dip, then you just buy, because this is still a bull run. We're still macro bullish. Now, for those little soul lovers, okay, your shitcoin is garbage. Again, let's draw this little cup and handle. Okay, now again, we're only drawing technicals here, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not talking in absolutes here. But if we were to draw, right, and we do technical targets, then sold basically down to $50. Okay, I don't think that will happen. If you want to start buying Sol, right, now again, this support line is getting weaker and weaker. Okay, we've had multiple touches. I would go a little bit higher time frame, and this is where, like, obviously you're not going to get the bottom, but if I were to start buying, it'd be around like 110 down to 100, and then if we fall below that, we have this demand zone here. Okay, 78 down to 70 cents. That's if, Bitcoin dies to like 45K. As I mentioned, if Bitcoin goes down, because Bitcoin dominance is so bullish, then alts are going to suffer as long as Bitcoin dominance is bullish. I still think we get 57 to 58%. That's where you want to start, if we hit it, start, buying altcoins. Now, there's never going to be a right time to, buy a coin. You won't be able to time the bottom, so just slowly start DCAing and don't go in heavy. Place your high time frame levels of support, go in small at entry, and then start DCAing heavier. All right. So those are my buy levels, and I will mark them for you. So basically, I'm front running this 108 to 110 down to 100. It's this order block here. And then you have this 3-day demand zone from 78 down to 70. Okay. But to be honest, like, I can't really look at all these coins right now. They all look bearish as fuck. As long as Bitcoin dominance is bullish. So there's no real point in trying to find levels of buys for most of these. Focus on building your strong top 3 or top 4 bags instead of trying to over diversify. I still think that AI, gaming, and RWAs, real world assets, are going to be the trending narrative for this bull cycle, but you don't want to over diversify into many coins. And I will be giving not on YouTube or my Twitter, but in the Discords, I'll be giving the buys for what coins I want to start accumulating. I'm just waiting for this chop to be over and wait for a break of structure before getting into other coins. But hopefully this video helped, put yourself at ease and stop over trading. You're not the only one losing money. A lot of people are. The smart traders that I know are sitting sidelined and not trying to trade this chop. So hopefully you can take some advice and just sit patiently. I know it's hard to be patient. I know you want to make money, but you also don't want to lose money on, a 1 to 2% range where nothing is happening besides Bitcoin going down and you getting wrecked in longs. The mentality isn't to long just because we've gone down so much or short because we've gone up so much. The mentality should be playing it safe and defensive until an opportunity presents itself in easy mode again. Okay, and right now it's not easy. So that's it for me, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks.